Taking away the threes, it just didn't, not being body to body on those threes, making those guys drop in, just being able to contain the dribble. Something the Nets have been struggling with all season is containing these dribble penetrations inside the lane.
So you look at the last 6 games against Memphis, Brooklyn has not won one of them. They've allowed about 122 points over that span. Only team the Nets have not defeated since the beginning of the 2021 season. And you talk about the way the Grizzlies, and you mentioned this, blue collar, no Ja Morant, but they're so good without him now. They're 15-2 without him.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of it has to do with their style of play. I mean, it's a really unique style of play, how they spread the court and they push the ball in transition. They force turnovers. They crash the glass. And tonight, they were really shooting the ball well from 3. There you see those 3-point shooters right there. Very capable shooters, but tonight they had a lot of space, in particular in the first half and definitely late in the fourth quarter, just open looks. And these guys are capable shooters, and they made the Nets pay for it.
All right, give you credit. Pre-game, I asked you, Kyrie on his 30th birthday, 30 or more points. Could he get it? What did you say?
I said over 40.
You did, and he had 43. Now, some other good news for him. It came on a night in which he had heard that potentially tomorrow the vaccine mandate will change. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's watch Kyrie in action. Remember, his last time out was a week ago when he dropped 60 against Orlando.
8 for 12 from 3 against Orlando Magic from 3. And tonight, I mean, you saw it all. You saw threes off the dribble. You saw catch and shoot threes. You saw his dribble penetration to the basket and scoring. He was Kyrie Irving tonight. He was electric all night long, scoring the ball at will against a very, very tough, gritty Grizzlies defensive team.
6 3-pointers on the night. And again, the thing about Kyrie, not afraid when he sees an opportunity to take it to the basket, though that was quite the opposite. That was a long-range bomb from 3.
Yeah, I mean, he was, really picking and choosing where to go. That gave him 40 right there, that basket late in the fourth quarter. Very aggressive to score, which the Nets really need from him right now. And look at this span, the last 4 games. Just shows you what kind of groove he's in. And now, with him playing in more games down the stretch, I think it's a great thing for the team.
All right, so let's talk about what I mentioned earlier. There are several reports that the vaccine mandate in New York City will change on Thursday. And if that announcement is made, it means Kyrie will be able to play not only in just the few road games left, but the remaining home games. That's a big boost for the Nets.
That's a huge boost for the Nets. I mean, right now he's in this groove, and now that he's going to be in uniform for these games potentially, I think it's a great thing. And so I think, listen, the most thing is, can they get Seth Curry back? Right? Can Drummond continue to be a dominant presence in the middle? Right? Bruce Brown has been proving now that he is back where he was last year.
Yeah. I thought we ran out of gas a little bit. We dug ourselves a hole. I thought the first half was the game. The stats speak for themselves. We knew what they were going to do, and those 3 things were fast breaks, 27 points, second chance points, 33, and points off turnovers, 27. It's almost 90 points in those 3 areas that we came into the game trying to address. I didn't think we had the requisite physicality in the first half. Dug ourselves a hole, came out and played a really good third quarter. But I think we ran out of gas. And they were exceptional shooting the ball tonight as well. But part of that is that you've got to match the physicality, take care of those details that we discussed in the morning.
Was it where it needed to be? Was it knocking down the shots?
A combination. They obviously made some shots that were heavily guarded, but I think there was too many opportunities for them in transition, or we weren't up to touch. We weren't receiving the shooters, high enough. So plenty of mistakes in there, but they did make some where we guarded it well.
2 questions. Understanding, one, that they're, I think 15-2 without Ja, but all of the things that you mentioned are things that you went over with. Mm-hmm. I'm sure your team was well aware of. But considering where you are in the standings and where you are in the season, I guess, how disappointing is that?
Ran and were able to get to our spots earlier. clear space earlier. I thought in the first half we also didn't do a good job of that. We were jogging down the floor instead of running and getting them out. They're exceptional if you allow them to zone up. And in the first half, too often we did.
Looks like the mayor's calling it a rollback thing so that Kyrie can play it. What will that mean to you?
Well, we all know we want Kyrie. We need Kyrie, but I really don't have any comments until I see him out there.
You guys obviously struggled when Kevin got hurt earlier in the season, and this team is, 15-2 now. What do you think allowed them to win at such a high level when one of their students started out?
Talent. They have a talented, balanced roster. Our roster is built on 3 stars. When they're out, it makes it very difficult. It puts a big strain on guys playing roles that they haven't played before. Good. Thanks, guys.
And to Steve Nash's point, 7 Memphis players in double figures tonight, so they spread it around really well. And you reminded us on the pregame show, when the Nets are good and they're playing well, and they were in winning 6 of their last 7, they get out of the gate quickly. And you talked about them establishing that. They didn't do that tonight.
It did offensively in the first quarter, but I think in the overall, just defensively, they didn't really only play defense in the third quarter, which is you can't win games in the NBA like that. You have to play more consistent defense. You have to have more of a presence. You have to have more intensity and contain guys and make it difficult for guys. It was just too easy for a team that just plays with so much space, spreading the court with 5 guys around the three-point line and 1 guy rolling to the basket, sucking you in. And they're finding shooters, and you're late recovering, you're not there, you're miscommunicating on switches. So the Nets have to shore up their defense because they've shown when they do play defense, they're going to be in the game and have a chance to win.
And that's got to be frustrating for Nash, knowing the message this morning, to a certain extent, was Ja Morant's not around, but it doesn't matter with these guys. They were 14-2 coming into the game. Without him, you got to play with that intensity. And as you said, it's almost puzzling sometimes why they hear the message, but then they don't translate it to the game.
Well, it is tough. I think, like he said, the most important thing